This is a quick video to just run through a few of the advantages, disadvantages, and cost comparisons between looking at a solar plant and a wind plant. Here at 𝐫𝐴, when we are assisting the development of a renewable energy plant, 7 to 8 times out of 10, that is going to be a solar or wind plant. We assist on a lot of off-grid projects, and so these are the 1 to 5 megawatts to 10 megawatt projects that you can find irrespective of a national grid or local grid. Now, this is a difficult one to answer because the technologies are growing at such a fast pace that the economies of scale are kicking into action, and we are seeing a 70% decrease in solar PV panels since 2010, for example. The same thing for certain magnets and components that are needed for the wind turbines. The technology to be able to convert the sunlight or convert the mechanical energy from the wind, these are all aspects that are increasing on a yearly basis, and so the costs can be slightly different year in and year out. Another aspect, of course, is understanding, well, there's one thing about your upfront costs, your capex, but what is the costs going forward? What is the future cost of this? Sometimes a wind plant can in fact be cheaper in the long run than a solar plant, given the fact that it produces more energy. A solar plant is cheaper. If we're going blow by blow, a solar plant is cheaper from an upfront cost perspective. It is also more versatile. We've all seen solar panels up on the malls, up on residential estates, up on carports. So you can almost stick it wherever you can. Recently we were in Barcelona and saw these very interesting side panels that you would come across, as if people were just sticking a solar panel outside their residential window and then started charging their kettle or something like that. And so you can see the versatility there versus a wind farm or wind turbine. These massive structures where just the logistical concerns of getting them to the farm from the port is insanely difficult. The route has to be tracked and placed, and every little corner has to be looked at so that the turbine doesn't potentially knock a building over. And so you can kind of see very big differences here. However, solar has its own limitations when we're looking at the fact that it does need full sunlight to really generate at the best it can do. Clouds are going to seriously affect and hamper it, and nighttime is almost nil. Whereas wind, whilst also intermittent and volatile, in periods of a big storm or highly windy periods, the amount of electricity that they can produce at those stages can often allow it to be more cost effective than a solar plant. However, we go back to the lack of versatility that a wind farm might have over a solar farm with regards to the sizing, the logistics, and where we can actually incorporate it into day-to-day life. Getting into these 20-year PPAs or even longer, sometimes shorter PPAs, and multiple investors and consortiums are involved, and so the cost of maintenance is really important. We've seen what the real cost of non-maintenance is for certain rooftop solar plants here in South Africa, where they have caught a light, for example. And so these are all things that without the proper maintenance and installation up front, we are going to have issues with. But that is the same for the wind farms. Maybe some of us have seen the video of the wind turbine, a wind turbine falling, and how scary that can be and how destructive that can be. And so your maintenance costs for wind turbines are quite a lot more than solar. You can imagine its technical expertise that is needed to get that high in the air and to start making some technical changes amongst the clouds is a lot more difficult than just climbing a ladder up to your rooftop to taking a look at the solar panels. And then lastly, something that we need to bring up, and it is important, is the ecological disadvantage of a wind farm. a wind farm is far more disruptive to the ecological life. It is a massive killer of birds. Unfortunately, birds fly straight into those turbines. I think also they get attracted to some of the sort of the low pressure, high pressure that's created through these fans as well. And so this is something that we're really trying to navigate still. And you know, small things like putting on mirrors or I believe shiny objects onto the fans or the turbines makes it a lot more safe for the birds. But we will continue to see more and more technology improvements to help that. And so in any region, you essentially still do want a mix of both of these sources. On a day where there's no sun and the wind is howling, best believe that's when you want a wind turbine. And the same for when it is completely dry, zero wind, that is when your solar panels are doing amazingly well and your wind turbines are very slowly not doing anything or doing very little. And so we will continue to see the amazing mix of these two and the professionals that work amongst both of these sources of technology. And it's exciting to see where we'll be in the next 10 years.